Jim Harbaugh is headed back to the NFL, where he'll be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. This has been a 3-year saga with Harbaugh. Every January, he starts sniffing around, right? It was potentially the Vikings in January 2022, the Broncos last year, and this year, of course, the Chargers stuff started mid-season, but he talked to the Falcons, talked to the Raiders as well, but it was always going to be the Chargers, right? So Michigan has hired Sherrone Moore, Harbaugh's offensive coordinator and offensive line coach, as their new head coach. And that means, of course, 3 of the 4 playoff teams and both national championship participants are going to have new head coaches at the start of the 2024 season. Moore went 4-0 as an interim coach, of course, while Harbaugh was suspended this season. That included wins over Penn State and, most importantly, Ohio State. And, yeah, the move makes absolute perfect sense. Continue the trajectory that Michigan was on, right? It was not a secret that Harbaugh wanted to go back to the NFL, so my guess is this was likely the plan for a long time, and not like it hasn't worked in the past, right? When he left Stanford, his offensive coordinator, David Shaw, he had 5 10-plus win seasons in the next 6 years when he was elevated to head coach. But does this not sound like somebody else that Michigan knows pretty well? Right? Ryan Day was offensive coordinator for Ohio State in 2017 and 2018. He was acting head coach for 3 games when Urban was suspended in 2018, Urban Meyer. And Jim Harbaugh, after the 2021 win over Ohio State, said, of course, sometimes people are standing on third base, think they hit a triple, but they didn't. And that, of course, was in regards to Ryan Day being the head coach at Ohio State. Sherrone Moore is taking over a national championship winning program. That's not something that Ryan Day did. Now, I will say this. Harbaugh taking, the strength coach, Ben Herbert, and likely the defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, with him to the Chargers. That's a pretty big hit to the program. So it's not like Moore is not going to have, the opportunity to build his own program. And that, of course, is completely different than Urban Meyer retiring and leaving all of his coaches in Columbus for Day, right? But still, as much as Michigan fans have made fun of Ryan Day for being born on third base, is Moore any different? Like, I would venture to say no. Michigan has already been built, right? The reason for hiring Moore, aside from the fact that he proved that he could win as a head coach while Harbaugh was suspended, was that he keeps the program stable, right? Michigan wants to keep running what Harbaugh built, and who could blame him, right? I mean, this is a program that's ready to roll. But how much credit is Moore going to get if he continues the success that Michigan has had the past 3 seasons? Like, I would almost guarantee that Ohio State fans are going to be more than ready with their third base signs in Columbus this November. Now, on the other side of this, we're at a completely different era of the sport than we were back when Urban retired, right? Transferring was not as easy then as it is now. NIL was not as big a part of the game, at least not, the above-the-table kind. And I think the difference between the two is going to be really how Moore's attitude towards Ohio State differs from Ryan Day's. After all the 2020 mess and, the report, and I use that term lightly, that Ryan Day said he was going to hang 100 on Michigan, that's what spurred the comments from Harbaugh after Michigan won in 2021. Is Moore going to come out as brazen as Day was? I find it unlikely, but, then again, you never know. Like, I'll tell you this, I'm excited to see what he does to make the program his own instead of just continuing with exactly what Harbaugh was doing. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens next. Thanks for listening to Winning Cures Everything. Make sure and follow me on Twitter @GaryWCE. If you want to toss in a question, you can email me, Gary@winningcureseverything.com. Make sure and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.